Have you ever woken up feeling stiff and sore, wondering why your body seems to resist you more each morning? Maybe you blame it on getting older, thinking it's just part of the aging process. But what if I told you that those aches and restless nights aren't just about age? Sometimes, it's the small things we do, or don't do, right before bed that quietly steal our sleep and weaken our muscles over time. It's easy to overlook these habits because they seem harmless, even comforting, yet they can disrupt the very rest your body desperately needs to heal and stay strong. Poor sleep is linked to everything from muscle loss to memory decline, and many of us never realize how much those bedtime routines are impacting our health. In this video, I'll share 5 gentle yet powerful habits you should avoid before hitting the pillow. Habits that could be silently sabotaging your sleep and your mornings. Stick with me until the end, and I'll also reveal the one bedtime practice that can help you wake up feeling refreshed, stronger, and more alive each day. Let's take this journey together toward better nights and brighter mornings. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Drinking too much water or tea before bed. You're winding down for the evening. The TV is off, the lights are dimmed, and your bedroom is cozy and calm. You grab a cup of herbal tea, maybe chamomile or mint, because it's soothing and familiar. Or perhaps you just want to make sure you're staying hydrated, like you've always heard you should. After all, staying healthy after 60 means drinking plenty of water, right? So you sip your tea, finish your water bottle, maybe take your nighttime vitamins with another glass. And then, just as your head hits the pillow and you start to drift off, nature calls. You get up once, then again, and again. Before you know it, what should have been a restful night has turned into a cycle of waking, walking to the bathroom, fumbling through the dark, and trying to fall back asleep. Morning arrives and you feel groggy, stiff, and more tired than when you went to bed. You chalk it up to getting older. This must just be how sleep works now, you say to yourself. But what if it isn't? What if the problem isn't your age, but something much simpler? Let me ask you this. Have you ever considered that your evening hydration, that innocent glass of water or cup of tea, might be silently sabotaging your sleep? It's something many people never think about. In fact, for decades we've been told that drinking water is good for everything. Flushing toxins, helping digestion, preventing cramps, improving skin. And that's all true during the day. But after a certain hour, especially for people over 60, drinking too much water or tea can become a hidden enemy. One that quietly chips away at the most essential part of your health. Deep, uninterrupted sleep. You see, as we age, our bladder naturally becomes more sensitive. The walls of the bladder lose elasticity, which means it holds less urine. The signals between the brain and the bladder also become more reactive. This means that even a small amount of fluid can trigger the feeling of urgency, especially during the night when your body is trying to rest. And it's not just about volume. Many herbal teas, even the calming ones, have mild diuretic properties. Chamomile, peppermint, dandelion. These sound gentle, but they can still encourage your kidneys to filter more fluids and send you straight to the bathroom. Caffeine-free doesn't always mean bladder-friendly. Another thing to consider is timing. When you consume a lot of fluid within 1 or 2 hours of bedtime, your kidneys don't have time to filter and excrete efficiently before you sleep. So instead of resting, your body is busy processing fluids throughout the night. And that means sleep gets broken over and over again. And here's the bigger issue. Interrupted sleep doesn't just leave you tired. It affects almost everything, from memory and mood to balance, blood sugar, immune strength, and muscle repair. Every time you wake up and go back to sleep, your body loses valuable time in the deeper stages of sleep, the ones where healing happens. If you've ever wondered why your mornings feel stiff, why your brain feels foggy, or why your energy crashes by noon, your nighttime bathroom trips might be playing a much bigger role than you think. So what can you do? The good news is that this isn't something that requires medication or big lifestyle changes. It's just about being a little more mindful of your fluids in the evening hours. Start by setting a hydration cutoff time. A general rule of thumb is to stop drinking large amounts of water or tea at least 90 minutes before bed. That gives your body time to process the fluid and empty your bladder before you sleep. If you take medications in the evening that require water, just take a few sips, enough to swallow the pills, but not enough to fill your bladder. And if you're someone who gets thirsty at night, consider addressing your hydration earlier in the day. Make a conscious effort to drink more water between breakfast and dinner. That way, your body is well hydrated before the sun even goes down. Another helpful tip? If you find yourself waking up due to thirst, it might be linked to dry air or mouth breathing. Try using a humidifier or a lip balm before bed. This can reduce the dry mouth sensation that tricks your brain into thinking you need more water. Let me tell you about someone who made this simple change and saw real results. Her name is Margaret. She's 74, from Ohio. Every night, she used to drink a full cup of hot herbal tea just before crawling into bed. It was part of her ritual, the signal to her body that the day was done. But she also found herself waking up 3 or 4 times a night to use the bathroom. She thought it was just her bladder aging. But after watching a health seminar, she decided to try something different. For 1 week, she moved her tea time to 2 hours before bed. She also cut back her water intake after dinner. By the 3rd night, something incredible happened. She slept for 6 hours straight, for the first time in years. She said it felt like waking up in her 50s again. More energy, less stiffness, more clarity, no dragging her feet into the kitchen. And the most surprising thing, she realized just how much better she felt mentally after a solid night of sleep. All from one small change. So if this sounds familiar, if your nights are broken up by bathroom visits, and your mornings feel heavy and unrefreshed, consider this. Maybe it's not your age. Maybe it's just your evening routine that needs a little tuning. You don't have to stop drinking water. You don't have to give up your favorite tea. But you do have to respect your body's timing. Your bladder, your kidneys, and your brain all work together, and they all need peace at night to do their best work. You've earned that peace. There's something powerful about waking up in the morning and not feeling like the night has defeated you. There's confidence in knowing that you can trust your body again. And it starts with small acts of awareness. Tiny shifts that say, I deserve better rest. I deserve better mornings. So tonight, before you reach for that glass or that kettle, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this cup helping me feel calm? Or is it going to cost me the rest I truly need? And if the answer isn't clear, just try a gentle change. Maybe move that tea to earlier in the evening. Maybe sip instead of gulp. Maybe stop at dinner and focus on winding down in other ways. Soft music, deep breathing, a warm bath, or simply gratitude for the day. Because better sleep isn't just about what you do in bed. It's about how you treat yourself before bed. You deserve nights that restore you. You deserve mornings that greet you, not exhaust you. And sometimes, the first step is as simple as putting the cup down and picking the rest up instead. 2. Watching disturbing news or social media. It's a quiet evening. Dinner is done. The kitchen is clean. The world outside your window has settled into that soft, peaceful hush. You've got the TV remote in one hand, or maybe your phone in the other. Just a few minutes before bed, you tell yourself, maybe you'll scroll through Facebook. Maybe you'll catch up on the news. Just a little something to unwind before heading off to sleep. Then, without even realizing it, your mind starts racing. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. You read a headline about a tragic shooting. Watch a heated political debate. Scroll past someone arguing in the comments about masks or taxes or the state of the country. You see images of war zones, natural disasters, or heartbreaking stories about lost children and divided families. Or perhaps it's more personal. Seeing photos of friends living lives that feel far away or reading news about rising healthcare costs that only deepen your quiet worries. You turn off the screen, but you don't feel relaxed. You feel unsettled. Your heart beats a little faster. Your chest feels tight. And when you finally lay your head on the pillow, your thoughts won't stop spinning. You think about the country, about your grandkids, about the past, about what might happen tomorrow. You try to sleep, but your brain won't let you go. And then you wonder why you're still awake at midnight. Let me gently ask, what if the way you wind down at night is winding you up? It's a quiet truth many people never notice, especially those of us over 60 who grew up trusting the news as a nightly routine. For decades, it was normal. The 10 o'clock news, a cup of tea, and off to bed. But the world, and the way we receive information, has changed drastically. Today's news and social media aren't just about keeping you informed. They're designed to keep you engaged, and often emotionally triggered. Research shows that exposure to negative or emotionally charged media before bed activates the brain's stress response system, the same one that kicks in during a crisis. This response floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline, chemicals meant to help you survive danger. But at night, those same chemicals interfere with your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. Even if you're not consciously upset, your brain reacts. It processes images and emotions in the background. Your nervous system stays alert. Your muscles stay slightly tensed. Your heart rate stays just a bit too high. And when your body thinks you're not safe, it resists sleep, especially the deep, restorative stages your body needs to repair, balance hormones, and keep your immune system strong. The science is clear. Your mind needs peace to sleep. And the media we consume before bed, especially violent or emotionally intense content, steals that peace without us realizing it. Now, I'm not saying you should bury your head in the sand. Staying informed is important. So is staying connected with others through social media. But there's a time and a place for everything. And bedtime is not the time to load your brain with fear, anger, or emotional comparison. So what can you do instead? Start by creating a digital sunset. About an hour before bed, turn off the news. Put down the phone. Close the laptop. Treat that hour like a bridge, a quiet, sacred space between the noise of the day and the stillness of the night. Fill that space with things that soothe your spirit rather than stir it up. Listen to soft music. Read a few pages of a book that makes you smile. Write down something you're grateful for. Call a loved one for a brief, uplifting chat. Light a candle. Stretch gently. Breathe deeply. Whatever helps you feel calm, that's your new bedtime routine. Even something as simple as looking out the window at the stars or petting your dog can help signal to your brain that it's time to shift from alert mode to rest mode. Let me share a story about someone who tried this and found it life-changing. Her name is Barbara. She's 76, a retired schoolteacher, widowed for several years. Every night, she'd watch the evening news while scrolling through Facebook. It became a habit she didn't think twice about. But over time, she noticed she was sleeping less. Her mind would race at night. She felt more anxious in the mornings. Some days she didn't even want to get out of bed. One day, her daughter gently suggested she stop watching the news after dinner. "Just try it for a week," she said. "See how you feel." So Barbara gave it a shot. She turned off the TV after 6:30. She started reading her old journals before bed. She lit a lavender candle, played quiet instrumental music, and instead of checking social media, she wrote postcards to old friends, one each night. By the third night, she fell asleep in under 20 minutes. By the end of the week, she was sleeping through the night, something she hadn't done in years. She told me later, "I didn't realize how much noise I was carrying with me into sleep. It's like I finally gave my soul a chance to exhale." And that's the heart of it, isn't it? So many of us carry the world's worries into bed with us. Like heavy coats, we forget to take off. We wonder why we can't sleep, but we're still mentally watching fires burn in distant cities or listening to arguments that aren't even ours. We scroll through photos of people we barely know, wondering why our hearts feel strangely empty afterward. You don't need to carry all that. You deserve better. You deserve rest that restores you, not just physically, but emotionally. You deserve a bedtime that feels safe, sacred, and soft. You deserve to close your eyes with peace in your chest and trust in your bones. And that starts by guarding the last hour of your day. Let the news wait until morning. The world will still be there. Your phone can rest too. Instead, give your spirit something gentler, something human, something true. Because at the end of the day, your health isn't only about what you eat or how much you walk. It's also about what you feed your mind, and when. So tonight, make a small promise to yourself. No more breaking news after dark. No more doom scrolling your way to bed. Trade the noise for a whisper. Trade the headlines for hope. Trade the tension for trust. You might be surprised at how much better you sleep. And more than that, you might discover something even deeper. That peace, real peace, is something you can choose. Even now. Especially now. 3. Eating heavy, sugary, or greasy foods. There's something undeniably comforting about a little treat at night. The world outside is quiet, the house feels peaceful, and for a moment, you feel like you've earned a reward for making it through another long day. Maybe it's a slice of leftover pizza, a scoop of ice cream, a warm cookie with milk, or a handful of chips while watching your favorite show. The kitchen light glows softly, casting familiar shadows as you stand there, contemplating just one more bite before bed. For many people, this ritual feels harmless, a way to soothe the spirit or fill a small void before the day ends. What's the harm? You might ask yourself. After all, you've been good all day. Maybe you even skipped dessert after dinner. Isn't it okay to indulge a little, especially now, in this gentle stage of life? But as you settle into bed, your stomach doesn't quite agree. You might notice a subtle heaviness in your chest or a bubbling discomfort in your belly. You toss and turn, unable to find that sweet spot where your mind and body can both rest. Sometimes, you even wake up feeling groggy, with a strange aftertaste in your mouth or a heaviness that lingers well into the next morning. Here's where it's time for a gentle, honest question. Is your bedtime snack, the one that brings you comfort, stealing away your peace and your sleep? Most people wouldn't suspect it. Our culture often celebrates food as a source of joy and connection, even in the quiet hours. We see commercials about midnight snacks and sitcom scenes of characters raiding the fridge late at night. It's easy to believe that as long as we're eating in moderation, it can't do much harm. But the science, and the stories of so many older adults, paint a different picture. You see, the foods we eat late at night, especially those high in sugar, fat, or simple carbohydrates, have a profound impact on the body's natural rhythms. Here's why. When you eat heavy or greasy foods before bed, your digestive system is forced to work overtime right when it's supposed to be winding down. Instead of resting, your stomach and intestines are busy breaking down that slice of pizza, that fried chicken, or that rich dessert. This can lead to indigestion, acid reflux, or heartburn, especially if you lie down soon after eating. For many seniors, these symptoms are even more pronounced, because the digestive system slows with age and the esophageal muscles aren't as strong as they once were. Sugary snacks are no better. When you eat a piece of cake, a candy bar, or a sweetened yogurt right before bed, your blood sugar spikes, giving you a burst of energy just as your body should be preparing for rest. But what goes up must come down. Soon after, your blood sugar drops, which can wake you up in the night feeling jittery or anxious. Over time, these repeated ups and downs can disrupt your sleep cycles and leave you feeling drained instead of restored. And don't forget about salty, processed foods, chips, crackers, cured meats. These are often packed with sodium and preservatives, which can increase thirst, raise blood pressure, and make it even harder for your body to relax. Plus, they're often low in nutrients, meaning you're filling up without truly nourishing yourself. Now, none of this is to say that food is the enemy. Food is one of life's great pleasures, especially when shared with family or friends. But there's a reason why doctors and sleep experts recommend finishing your last substantial meal at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Your body needs time to digest, to process, and to prepare for the deep healing that only sleep can bring. If you found yourself waking up with heartburn, feeling groggy, or noticing that your energy just isn't what it used to be, consider the possibility that your evening snack habits might be part of the reason. The problem isn't simply about calories or weight. It's about your body's ability to rest, repair, and restore itself, night after night, year after year. So what's the solution? Thankfully, it's gentle and forgiving. Start by paying attention to your hunger cues. Ask yourself, am I hungry, or am I looking for comfort, distraction, or a way to pass the time? If you are genuinely hungry, maybe dinner was a little light, or you ate early. Choose something small, nourishing, and easy to digest. A cup of warm, unsweetened milk. A few slices of banana. A handful of unsalted almonds or walnuts. These foods provide gentle energy and important nutrients, without overwhelming your digestive system or spiking your blood sugar. Try to avoid the "just one more" mentality that creeps in late at night. You might be surprised how often your cravings are more about habit than true hunger. If you find yourself standing in front of the fridge out of routine or boredom, pause and try a different comfort. A warm bath, a favorite song, a gentle stretch, or a quiet moment reflecting on the day's blessings. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Let me tell you about a friend of mine, Ed, who's 78 and lives in Colorado. For years, Ed's bedtime routine included a big bowl of ice cream while watching The Late Show. He told himself it helped him sleep. He'd grown up thinking milk and sugar were the perfect lullaby. But as he got older, he noticed he was waking up every night around 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes with heartburn, just feeling anxious and wide awake. He'd start the next day feeling worn out, frustrated, and not sure why. At his daughter's suggestion, Ed made a small change. He swapped his nightly ice cream for a cup of warm milk and a few slices of banana, and he finished it an hour before bed instead of right before. The first few nights were tough. He missed the cold sweetness and the comfort of his old habit. But within a week, he noticed he was sleeping through the night. The heartburn faded, the anxiety eased, and his mornings felt brighter. He even joked that he'd forgotten what it felt like to wake up rested. Ed's story isn't unique. All across America, older adults are rediscovering the power of a gentle, mindful evening routine, one that supports, rather than sabotages, their body's need for real, restorative sleep. Here's the most important thing to remember. You deserve to wake up refreshed. You deserve nights that heal, not nights spent tossing and turning, fighting your digestion. Changing your nighttime eating habits doesn't mean giving up comfort or pleasure. It simply means choosing foods and routines that love your body back. If you ever feel tempted to reach for that greasy snack or sugary treat at 10 p.m., ask yourself, will this help me sleep deeply tonight? Will it help me wake up with energy for the people and things I love? If the answer is no, try one of those gentle alternatives instead. Sometimes, a small change, just a different snack or a slightly earlier treat, can transform not just your sleep, but your whole outlook. There's a quiet joy in learning to care for yourself in new ways, even after decades of habit. There's freedom in knowing you can still improve your days, and your nights, no matter your age. So tonight, as you turn down the lights and settle into your favorite chair, remember, your sleep is sacred. Your comfort matters. And every choice you make, even the small ones, is a step toward a brighter, more rested tomorrow. Try it for a week. See how you feel. Let your evenings become a gentle invitation to deep, healing sleep. You might be surprised at just how good tomorrow can feel when you give your body the chance it needs to truly rest. 4. Arguing or drowning in negative thoughts. Have you ever noticed how the quietest part of the day, right before bed, can become the loudest in your mind? The house is finally silent. The lights are low. But as you settle into your pillow, thoughts start swirling. Maybe it's an old argument with a loved one. Maybe it's something your neighbor said that rubbed you the wrong way. Maybe it's regret over words spoken years ago, or guilt about something you did or didn't do for your family. You try to brush these thoughts away, but instead, they grow stronger in the darkness. Your heart starts to race. You replay every detail, every sentence, sometimes for the 100th time. Your chest feels tight. Sleep drifts further out of reach as you relive pain, disappointment, or anger you wish you could just let go. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. For many older adults, nighttime is when worries and resentments bubble up, no matter how much we wish they'd leave us alone. And it isn't just the big things. Sometimes it's the tiny, nagging worries. Did I remember to call the doctor? Why did my friend sound distant today? Am I being a burden to my kids? Why do I feel so alone, even when I'm surrounded by people? Our culture tells us to sleep on it, as if the passage of hours will magically erase the sharp edges of emotion. But if you're tossing and turning with racing thoughts or unfinished arguments, you know the truth. Those feelings don't disappear. If anything, they become harder to ignore in the quiet. So let me ask you, what if the real reason you can't fall asleep isn't your age, your aches, or even your medications? but the emotional weight you carry into bed each night. It's a question worth asking, and one that science has begun to answer. You see, the brain is wired to solve problems, even when you're trying to sleep. When you lie down at night, your mind finally has a break from distractions, and all the unresolved feelings from the day, or even years gone by, come flooding in. The stress from an argument, the bitterness of regret, or even the sadness of missing someone can trigger your body's stress response. Your heart beats faster, your muscles tense, and your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol is useful in small doses. It helps you wake up in the morning and keeps you alert. But at night, too much cortisol blocks the release of melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall and stay asleep. Your mind and body stay on high alert, making deep, restful sleep almost impossible. It doesn't end there. Chronic stress from unresolved emotional conflict has been linked to increased inflammation, higher blood pressure, and even memory problems. Over time, nights spent replaying old fights or drowning in what-ifs can leave you feeling exhausted, irritable, and disconnected from yourself and those you love. But here's the gentle truth. You are not your thoughts. You are not your worst moments. And you are not alone in wishing for peace. There's hope, and it starts with small, compassionate steps. Here's how you can invite calm and forgiveness into your evenings, even if the world around you feels anything but calm. First, recognize the pattern. The next time you feel your mind spiraling into an argument or worry as you lie down, pause. Notice it. Name it. I'm replaying that conversation again. I'm worrying about something out of my control. Naming the feeling, without judgment, breaks the cycle of rumination and gives you a sense of control. Next, practice gentle gratitude. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect, but about anchoring yourself in the present. Keep a small notebook or journal by your bed. Each night, write down 3 things you're grateful for that day, no matter how small. The warmth of sunlight, a kind word from a neighbor, a favorite song on the radio. Studies show that gratitude journaling can reduce anxiety and improve sleep by shifting your focus from problems to blessings. If you're feeling especially restless after an argument or emotional day, try a short breathing exercise. Lie flat on your back, close your eyes, and take slow, deep breaths. In through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, and out through your mouth for 6. With each exhale, imagine letting go of tension, anger, or regret. It sounds simple, but this practice signals to your brain that it's safe to relax. Another powerful tool is forgiveness, even if only in your heart. You may not be able to resolve every argument or repair every relationship overnight, but you can offer yourself and others compassion. If you find yourself replaying a fight with a child or spouse, try this. Picture them in your mind, and silently wish them peace. Then, wish the same peace for yourself. This act of quiet forgiveness isn't about letting anyone off the hook. It's about freeing your spirit for rest. Let me share a story with you. Frank, a retired postal worker from upstate New York, always prided himself on being tough and dependable. But after losing his wife, he found himself growing angry and bitter, especially at night. Every small slight or family disagreement replayed in his head until he felt like he was drowning. His sleep suffered, and so did his relationships with his adult children, who started calling less and less. One evening, at the urging of a grief counselor, Frank began writing in a gratitude journal before bed. At first, he could only muster, "I'm grateful for my warm blanket. I'm grateful for my morning coffee." But slowly, his list grew. He started including memories of his wife, small acts of kindness from strangers, and the laughter of his grandchildren. After a few weeks, he noticed something remarkable. He was falling asleep faster and waking up less angry. His mood improved. His children started visiting more. He still had bad nights, of course, but now he felt equipped to handle them with gentleness, not resentment. This is the quiet power of shifting your focus, from what's wrong to what's right, from the past to the present, from anger to acceptance. Of course, some nights will still be hard. Some wounds take longer to heal. But you can create a gentle, sacred space in your evenings for letting go, just a little more, night after night. Here's a simple routine you might try tonight. Write down one thing you're grateful for. Take a few deep, slow breaths. Remind yourself that you did your best today. Why? Forgive yourself for what's still unresolved. Offer peace to those you're angry with, even if just in your heart. And then, let the day be done. You deserve to sleep with a quiet mind and a calm heart. You deserve to wake up refreshed, not weighed down by old battles or endless worries. Remember, the best gift you can give yourself, and those you love, is the peace that comes from gentle acceptance. If you find yourself lying awake tonight, remember that you're not alone. All across the country, others are quietly fighting the same battles in the dark. But together, by taking small steps toward forgiveness and gratitude, we can create a little more light for ourselves and for each other. May your nights grow softer and your sleep come easier as you learn to let go, one breath, one thought, and one gentle act at a time. 5. Sleeping with light or noise around you. It's a scene familiar in countless American homes, especially in the quiet hours after sunset. You finish your nighttime routine, fluff your pillow, and slip under the covers. But before you settle in, you reach for the small lamp on your nightstand and decide to leave it on, just in case you need to get up. Or maybe you leave the bathroom light cracked open across the hall, a soft strip of gold seeping into the darkness. Maybe the TV hums quietly in the corner, playing reruns to keep you company, or your phone glows softly as you scroll through photos, checking just one more thing before sleep. For many older adults, these small lights and comforting sounds become nighttime companions. Perhaps you've lived alone for some years, or the silence of the house feels too heavy. Maybe it's the memory of nights spent worrying about loved ones, or simply the habit of falling asleep to the steady, familiar noise of a television or radio. After all, isn't it better to have a little light, just to feel safe? Isn't a gentle background noise better than the emptiness of silence? But what if these well-meaning habits, leaving lights on, falling asleep with the TV murmuring, or letting the radio play softly all night, are quietly sabotaging your sleep and, little by little, your health? Let's challenge the usual thinking for a moment. Many people believe that having some light or sound helps them fall asleep faster, wards off loneliness, or calms the mind. For decades, even sleep experts recommended white noise machines to mask outside sounds. But recent research tells a deeper story, especially for older adults whose bodies and minds are more sensitive to subtle disruptions. Why does this matter so much? The answer is both simple and profound. Your brain is wired to recognize light and darkness as signals for sleep and wakefulness. This system, known as your circadian rhythm, works like a master clock, telling your body when to release the hormones that help you rest, repair, and recharge. When the sun sets and your eyes sense darkness, your brain produces melatonin, a natural hormone that prepares every cell for sleep. But even the smallest amount of light, from a nightlight, a glowing TV screen, or the soft shine of your phone, can interrupt this process. Studies show that exposure to light at night, especially blue light from screens, signals to your brain that it's still daytime. Melatonin production slows or stops, making it harder to fall asleep and even harder to stay asleep. You may think you're dozing, but your brain never truly enters the deep, healing stages of rest. The same goes for sound. While some gentle noise can block out sudden disturbances, like traffic or barking dogs, constant background noise, like TV dialogue, radio chatter, or even upbeat music, keeps your brain partially alert. Your mind continues to process words, rhythms, and emotional tones, pulling you out of deeper sleep without you even realizing it. Over time, this broken sleep leaves you feeling groggy, forgetful, and more fatigued than you should be after a full night in bed. For older adults, these disruptions matter even more. As we age, sleep naturally becomes lighter and more fragmented. We're more sensitive to shifts in the environment, and it takes longer to return to deep sleep after waking. That's why something as small as a streetlight outside your window, or the flicker of a TV in the corner, can have outsized effects on how you feel each day. But what if you're afraid of the dark? Or what if silence feels lonely or even a little scary? You're not alone in these feelings. Many people find that total darkness or quiet triggers old fears, of falling, of being alone, of not hearing if something's wrong. It's human to seek comfort in small lights and familiar sounds. But with a few gentle adjustments, you can create a bedroom environment that is both safe and sleep-friendly. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Let me share a story about Helen, a 73-year-old widow from Indiana. After her husband passed, Helen found the silence at night unbearable. She started leaving the hallway light on and fell asleep to old episodes of Wheel of Fortune playing in the background. She thought this routine helped her sleep, but each morning she woke up tired, with headaches and a cloudy mind. She struggled to remember appointments and felt irritable with her grandchildren. When her doctor asked about her sleep, Helen insisted she slept through the night. But when they tracked her patterns, it turned out she was waking up briefly, 7 or 8 times each night, just enough to keep her from reaching the deep, healing sleep her body needed. With a little guidance, Helen made a few changes. She swapped the harsh hallway light for a motion-activated nightlight that only turned on when she got out of bed. She set her TV to a timer, so it turned off 30 minutes after she fell asleep. She started using blackout curtains to keep out streetlights and wore a soft sleep mask. At first, the silence felt uncomfortable, but she played soft, non-verbal, white noise for the first 10 minutes. Just enough to drift off, but not enough to keep her brain alert all night. Within 2 weeks, Helen's mornings changed. She woke up more refreshed. Her mood improved. She remembered her friends' birthdays again, and she had more energy to garden and join her book club. She realized she didn't need constant light and noise. She just needed a little comfort at the beginning of the night. So what can you do to create a truly restful sleep environment? Start by reducing light exposure. Turn off unnecessary lamps, screens, and glowing electronics at least 30 minutes before bedtime. Use blackout curtains to block outside lights, and try a soft eye mask for extra darkness. If you need to get up in the night, use dim, motion-activated lights along the floor rather than overhead bulbs. Limit sound disturbances. If silence feels too empty, choose soft, non-verbal sounds like gentle rain, ocean waves, or a white noise machine set to a low volume. Avoid leaving the TV, talk radio, or music with lyrics on overnight. These keep your mind working, even as your body rests. Create a bedtime routine that soothes your senses. A warm bath, a few stretches, reading a calming book, or simply practicing slow, deep breathing can help you feel safe and relaxed, ready for true sleep. If you live alone, consider a weighted blanket or a cherished stuffed animal to offer comfort, a gentle hug through the night. Most importantly, remember that it's never too late to try something new. Changing a lifetime of habits can feel daunting, but even small shifts can make a big difference. Give yourself permission to experiment. Maybe start with 1 night a week, turn everything off, embrace the quiet, and see how your body responds. If you're worried about falling or not hearing important sounds, technology can help. Motion-activated lights, smart home alarms, or wearable devices that alert you if you need help. Your safety is vital, but it can be balanced with your need for deep, nourishing sleep. Remember, you deserve a bedroom that feels like a sanctuary. A place where your mind and body can let go, rest, and heal. You deserve mornings where you wake up with clarity and joy, not weighed down by fatigue or frustration. So tonight, try dimming the lights just a little more. Try turning off the TV or radio. Let yourself lean into the quiet, just for a while. You might be surprised by what you find there. Deeper sleep, brighter mornings, and a gentle reminder that peace, comfort, and true rest are still within reach, no matter your age or your past routines. Sleep well. You've earned it. As we reach the end of this video, I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on everything we've shared together tonight. Maybe you recognized your own routines, the late-night glass of water, a bite of something sweet, the TV left on for comfort, or the habit of scrolling through news that leaves your heart unsettled. Or perhaps you noticed how old arguments and worries sneak into your quietest hours, robbing you of the deep rest you truly deserve. The truth is, these habits might seem small or harmless, but over time, they can quietly chip away at the very thing that keeps you healthy, joyful, and independent. Your sleep. The good news? You are not powerless. With just a few gentle changes, turning off the screens a little earlier, creating a darker and quieter bedroom, choosing lighter snacks, or practicing forgiveness and gratitude, you can give yourself the gift of peaceful, restorative nights. Imagine waking up tomorrow with more energy, a clearer mind, and a lighter heart. Imagine what you could do with days that aren't weighed down by exhaustion. You've cared for others all your life. Now it's time to care for yourself, starting with the way you end each day. So, which of these 5 habits did you recognize in your own life? What's one small change you'll try tonight? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else to sleep better, too. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more tips and stories about living well after 60. Sweet dreams, and remember, you deserve the very best rest, tonight and always.